John Thompson's Ritual Farm in New Zealand has a great reputation for producing racetrack stars from a variety of stallions he's stood over the years. Now John's excited to be seeing the first foals of the son of Monsun, Vadamos, and he was joined last season by a new stallion from Japan, a son of Deep Impact, Satono Aladdin. Well, John, great to be here at Ritual Stud. I mean, you always seem to have a wonderful group of stallions, and now you've added to it with Satono Aladdin, and again, by Deep Impact, that's some of the best blood in the world.
Yeah, look, a really exciting addition not only to Rich Hill but to the New Zealand industry. I mean, I think the Australian industry, especially the AFL connection, have recognised that the Deep Impact blood is going to be very, very influential in the future, and you know, it was just a great privilege to be given the opportunity to stand this horse.
Satono Aladdin at red, folks, out wide.
Well, he was just a super racehorse. I mean, we won as a 2-year-old, you know, that all-important 2-year-old win. That was over a mile. Tried him over the Derby trips. He wasn't an out-and-out stayer, obviously, and then went back, won over 1400, you know, as he was getting on through the years. And the fascinating thing, I think, is he won his Group 1 as a 6-year-old. So that is one tough sound horse racing in tough conditions in Japan.
Exactly, and as we commented when we looked at him, his joints and everything, that you wouldn't think the horse has been to the races. Beautiful, clean bone and very sound horse, and you know, exactly. I mean, he was set on a path to the Derby. The owner of all the Satono horses, that's his goal, to win the Japanese Derby, and he didn't quite stay the distance, but brought back, he showed his devastating turn of foot, won 2 Group 2s over 1400 and then a Group 1 mile in the Yoshida Kinnan. It's one of the world's great Group 1 miles, very highly ranked in world racing, so again, very exciting.
He's one of the really good looking Deep Impacts, isn't he? He's got a lovely leg under him, and you know, I mean, he's had a tough run. He's come off the racetrack, had a season in the Northern Hemisphere and come here. So, you know, in another year he'll be sort of burlier, but there's a lovely frame there and really good, as you say, good strong bone and lovely long legs.
Very athletic and lovely head and shoulder and beautiful hindquarters, and it's a testament to him that he's arrived here and he's actually put on quite a lot of weight since he's been here. He's such a relaxed individual, so you know, all those factors add to a great stallion prospect.
Nouveau record, Laxus lunging.
Full sisters are Latchis, who's a Group 1 winner in Japan. Then of course his dam was one of the mares that Shadow Farm purchased from America. She's a Group 2 Oaks winner in America and Group 1 place in the Spinaway Stakes. Fabiano, well, he's having a profound influence in Australia at the moment. You know, the dam sire of Explosive, of course, you know, who is the dam of Northern Meteor and the grand dam of Smart Missile. You know, Northern Meteor to die at such a young age was a tragedy for the whole industry, but his sons are carrying on the legacy. So, you know, we're really excited that Fabiano blood's there, and then the third dam by Nijinsky, you just don't get any better, do you? And we announced the horse, and within 2 weeks, Deep Impact from the same crop of 3-year-olds inside the winner of the English 2000 Guineas in Saxon Warrior, the Japanese Derby and the French Derby, you know, and that's from the same crop of 3-year-olds. And I don't think a stallion in history's ever been able to achieve those sort of results. So it was a great platform to launch the horse, and of course New Zealand breeders have really got in behind him. So that's been great, book of quality and quantity.
And some support from within Australia already too. I'm sure there'll be more once they see this.
Exactly. You know, mares, you know, there's still quite a few Australian breeders with mares based in New Zealand, and this horse had real appeal to them. I mean, Trelawney Stud probably walked in half a dozen mares to them, and several of those were Australian owned, and we've got a couple of Australian owners on the farm, and as soon as they saw the horse's race record and they knew about his bloodlines, they were really into the horse.
Now Vadamos, it's fabulous seeing the first of the Vadamos foals. We know, you know, the blood of Monsun, all the Melbourne Cups that he's winning, and also, you know, just being such a champion German sire who's had winners, Group 1 winners around the world. But to see the first foals of Vadamos, that's just so rewarding for you, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, the horse came here with you know, great raps on him. He was such an outstanding individual and such a quality horse, and you know, a Group 1 miler, and he looked like a Group 1 miler, and it's great to see him stamping his progeny so well. You know, he's a pure breeding bay, and you know, they've all got that little bit of physique, and you know, as we said, quite short coupled, some of them. They're not going to take forever, and you know, and another really probably encouraging thing for us is the start for Fiorante's he's made in Australia. You know, he's really put the Monsun blood forward over there, and of course it'll help us going into yearling sales when we market his first crop. So I don't think there's been too many stallions in the world busier than him, but it's a credit to him that with his libido and his fertility and his general temperament that he's handled it all so well.
The Minalushka filly, this was a fabulous little filly and just a real runner, and I understand she entertains you every evening on your back porch?
Well, not quite every evening, but yeah, we've can sit out on the balcony and you know, have a quiet drink, and we see this foal, we can see it from our place, and it just tears around and around the paddock, and it's just a natural athlete and got that spark about it, hasn't it?
Yes, she should.
That good fillies have.
Indeed, certainly does. And Shylock's daughter filly, now, you know, they're quite tall and leggy and a lovely springy sort of action too.
Very light on their feet, the whole lot of them, and you know, despite the mares are out of, she's out of a Generous mare. Well, you know, Generous was a very high quality stayer, and perhaps his biggest mark has been as a broodmare sire throughout the world. Generous, he's been a very good broodmare sire, and tough and sound, and to put those genes into the foals is excellent.
And a couple of colts, these were just lovely together. They seem like best mates, the Adair colt and also the Etosha Lass colt. So that goes back to Canny Lass's family, the Etosha Lass. So tell me about some of the mating matchups you did, say particularly with those colts, Adair and Etosha Lass.
Yeah, well, Etosha Lass has got a wonderful pedigree because she's by our old favourite Pentyre, and one of the things with Vadamos, he's clicked very well with the Be My Guest blood in Europe and the Mill Reef blood, and Pentyre's by Be My Guest out of a Mill Reef mare, so it's got to be a natural fit to produce some great horses, and we've got the speed of Canny Lass's family, Canny Lad back in the pedigree, so yeah, a real quality colt with a lot of personality.
We saw some fillies, these were just gorgeous, these two. Passchendaele is one of them, so she was a Group 2 winning and Group 1 place Monsun mare, and the foal has this lovely athletic, again that really light action.
Oh yeah, she just sort of could walk across frozen ice or glass without breaking it, couldn't she? She was so light and lovely quality filly, and very correct and sound, and just typical of the stock he's been thrown. Toughness and soundness are two qualities that, you know, you really need to survive, don't you? Particularly if these horses want to go on and win over Derby, Oaks and Cup distances. They really these days have to be tough and sound because, you know, to get there, as everybody knows, it's a tough pathway, isn't it, for any horse? And yeah, again, keeper son of Dane Hill, so that blood's worked well, and out of a Zabeel mare, and you can go right back. The fourth dam Sir Tristram, I think it is. So there's a nice double up of that great stallion as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So and overall for Rich Hill, how's the whole season been?
It's been a really rewarding season in the foaling paddock, and we've got a nice crop of yearlings to come through. But I guess also for us, we've got a tremendous amount to look forward to in the future with these progeny of these horses coming through, which you know, perhaps following on from the legacy of Pentyre, who side 16 Group 1 winners. It's going to be hard for any of these horses to achieve that feat, but you know, they've got the necessary credentials, hopefully, to do that.